Hey, good morning, good afternoon, or good night. I hope you guys are having a great day. Um, this is going to be a resume light version. My other lecture on resumes is about half an hour, and this one is going to be as short as humanly possible. So, if you've never done a resume before, I recommend going over to the half an hour version. But if you just need a little bit of a refresher or just a little bit of help to tweak your resume to make it a little bit better, this one is going to be for you guys. So here we go. Um, like I said, we're going to go fast. All right, number one, use a template. Please go on to, you can use Google Docs, Microsoft Office, and Microsoft Word. Use one of their templates. Um, Office Libre is another free software that you can download, and also Open Office. Those I recommend using a template. Do not create one on your own from scratch. I actually just read a article on Yahoo.com, basically saying the exact same thing that was stating do not use a template. It actually comes off as pompous, apparently, is the terminology that they use. So please use a template. There's so many out there, and that's just what everybody does. So there we go. All right, general rules. Most of the time, your resumes only need to be 1 to 2 pages in length. Some employers or bosses or managers looking through resumes, they will stop after page one. So make sure that the most important information you want to convey is on the first page, and not just the first page, but the first part of the first page, the first half of it. Otherwise, get to 2 pages, and I'm going to show you guys my resume also with some personal information changed and hidden for fun because I don't want you guys to know where I live or my phone number is. So make sure that it's evenly spaced from top to bottom. That's the nice part about having a template. It's already done for you. Fonts and margin, make sure they are consistent. Once again, templates do that for you. Um, Already talked on that. Chronological. Okay. If you've ever had a job or a career, you're going to highlight your experience. That's what a chronological resume is. You only need to list your most relevant 3 to 4 jobs that you're applying for to tailor it to the job you're going for. So, say for example, you're going for a job at McDonald's and you've already worked for Burger King, and say you worked landscaping and another job, you would mostly want to highlight, hey, I've worked at McDonald's. Those job skills and employership will perfectly transfer over to working at Burger King. Um, that way you're tailoring it. That way you're saying, hey, what you need in a worker, I already have. So the main theme of resume is tailor, tailor, tailor. You are selling yourself, highlighting all of your amazing skills and attributes, and saying, hey, listen, I'm the one that you want to hire. That's what you're trying to convey. Okay, and I will show you guys some examples in just a minute. All right, now for a lot of you guys, we've all been here before. You've never had a job before in your entire life, so oh no, what do I tell them? Well, that is where a functional resume comes in. That's where it highlights your skills and abilities as opposed to your experience because you don't have any. So this is where you guys can work on saying, hey, I'm a really good problem solver. I work really well in teams. Maybe you've played on team sports. Maybe you've been part of an organization. Maybe you do some things at church where you're in charge of. Maybe in your family, you're in charge of certain things around the house um, or the apartment. So you're highlighting those skills and abilities rather than your job experience because you don't have any yet. Okay, now most of ours are actually a combination where maybe you've had one job and you have lots of skills and abilities, so you're merging those together. So that would be more of a combination, a little bit of both. Okay. What else? So these are some of the topics that you guys can put in there. So maybe when you get a template, it says job experience. Well, because you don't have any, you replace that with honors and awards, civic engagement. Maybe you have certain hobbies and interests. One of my first jobs I ever got was prepping baseball and softball fields. And Howard, the boss, one of the first things he wanted to know was, can I lift 50 pounds? And I asked him why. And he goes, well, that's how much the bags of chalk weigh. And my back, he was about 7 years old at the time, and goes, my back can't lift it anymore. So on my resume, I knew ahead of time, I said, hey, I'm going to put in my hobbies and interests that I do weightlifting because that shows I can do that job. Actually, during the interview, he looked at me and goes, can you pick up one of those bags, son? I looked at him, I go, I can pick up two, and I picked up two, and I'm like lifting 100 pounds. I'm like, oh geez, this is heavy. And then he's like, all right, you got the job. All right. References. Okay. Um, you want to have a separate page with your references, and I'll show you an example of that here real soon when I throw up my resume. Um, some people just want them available on request. Some companies want them right away. So I always come with references. You want it on a separate page. Now, not to say on one page is your resume, flip it over, the other page is your references. No, references needs a completely separate page. A lot of times is because paperwork goes in different directions. So maybe your resume goes with the manager and your references goes to human resources. Not always the case, but sometimes it is. And use the same letterhead on your resume as you would for your references. You want to have 3 to 5 references that can talk about your professional skills and abilities. So, teachers, coaches, professors, former employers, um, church leadership, um, and people basically who've been over or in charge of you in some fashion and seen you work. The one person that you actually cannot put on there is no family members. They are biases. They are biased. So, for example, don't put mom on there because mom's going to tell you everything how amazing their baby is and be like, hey, listen, my kid is wonderful and amazing. You need to hire them. They need a job to get out of the basement and move out and have some money. So, don't put family members. Hey, professionalism. Please make sure you have a professional email. No sexy mama 21 at yahoo.com. No big daddy 18 at gmail.com. Make sure they are professional and boring. Please clean up your social media. Make sure there's nothing on there that would be embarrassing. Ringtones, when you go for an interview, put your phone on silent. I don't think ringbacks are a thing anymore. Edit, edit, edit. It needs to be 100% professional and clean and no grammar or misspellings on there. Okay, so let's get into examples. Okay, so here's a first example of a student resume that you guys can take a look. Now, this person will obviously be a chronological one because they have job experience. And look, that the first half of her first page is what she wants to highlight most: education, retail. Now, these are things that you will want to focus on and saying, okay, what are my topics? What am I going to talk on? The hard part about a resume is there's no such thing as a perfect resume, just better resumes. So project management, activities, volunteering, skills, abilities. So those are examples from there. I guarantee you can look online and search for resume examples for student resumes, professional resumes. Um, there's thousands out there. And then lastly, I will show you what my resume looks like. Okay, so here's an example of my resume. So up here, all this information is false for me, so don't try to contact me. But on here, I've put my education. I've put what I'm endorsed in. These are the classes that I've taught and the schools that I've worked at. And then other job experiences. I used to be a high school and college basketball referee and different honors and awards. And then I like to highlight what my students have done. And then lastly, these are examples of your references. So 3 to 5 on here. I have 6. I hope you get my Jenny joke over here with the song and the phone number. Um, so this is how a resume will look, and I just use a simple template from Microsoft Word on displaying mine. Okay, I think I've kept this video to 9 minutes. Perfect. It is 1/3 the length of the other ones. If you have any questions, let me know. Have a good day. Bye.